It's easy to think that climate change is something bigger than all of us, that as individuals, we don't really have the power to change it. Actually, that couldn't be further from the truth. Each one of us is powerful and can play a part in making climate change a thing of the past instead of the future. Not convinced? Let's get virtual. It's all about our carbon footprint, the amount of greenhouse gas emissions we're directly and indirectly creating. The goal being to have as smaller impact or footprint as possible. Studies show that we, the consumers, the people who buy things, are responsible for almost 70% of all direct and indirect emissions. Pretty staggering. It comes mainly from three areas: transportation, housing, and food. Transportation, because most of us drive cars or use transport that needs fuel, a vast proportion of greenhouse gases come from energy, coal, oil and gas companies all around the world. Housing. We need heating, lighting and ways to cook our food. And as we largely like to eat meat, food accounts for nearly 15% of global greenhouse gas emissions too. The really painful truth is that each of us, directly and indirectly, drive and create the market for things we want and need to buy. And that means big companies will provide them because we'll pay for them. It's a loop that can create more and more carbon emissions. Consumers, us, producers, them, who deliver to consumers, us, who demand more from the producers, them, and so on. Once we see how our individual needs and choices start to stack up, we can see that it also means that each of us form a giant group that is powerful too. So, the more we demand something, the more big companies sit up and listen, which is why we have burgers made of plants, cheaper and cheaper electric cars, and more recycling. It's called purchasing power. So the more we choose to buy products with smaller carbon footprints, reuse, regift, buy used instead of new, choose to wear warmer clothing at night, say, and use less heat like generations before us, who were more thrifty, owned less, and handed down more precious belongings, the more we will each reduce our own carbon footprints, the more we will help our world. The Earth may be massive, but what happens to it is up to each of us. So instead of act local, think global, we really should update it to act local, impact global, because it turns out each of us are way more powerful than we thought.